They call me Squirrel.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad? How are you doing over here on Look Squirrel Down Under? It's good to see you folks. I am back with another video for you, and this is 50 things that are only possible in Australia. So we're going to go through this. It's about 10 minutes long. I want to see what 50 things that are only possible in Australia. I hope you'll join me for the video and enjoy it with me. And I mean, if you're from Australia, none of this will probably be that new to you. But if you're not, you might be surprised by what you see here, just like I'm probably going to be surprised by what I see here. So let's get into it. If it's your first time here, please hit the subscription button and join the squad. We're doing it. Hey, we Squirrel Down Under. It's time.
Okay, it's pop quiz time. Which country has the longest fence in the world? How about the second largest Greek population? 3 times more sheep than people? Okay, one word will give it away. Kangaroos! Yeah, I'm talking about the land down under. So, what do you know about Australia? So, let's start with the name. Australia comes from the Latin word australis, which means southern. Way back in the 2nd century, there were legends of a mysterious Terra Australis Incognita, or unknown southern land. Well, now it's very known, so let's get to know more about it. Despite the stereotypes of hot, sunny weather year-round, the Australian Alps, which are the highest mountain range in the country, get more snow than the Swiss Alps do. Better grab your skis. The world's longest national highway is in Australia. It stretches for over 9,000 miles. For comparison, the Earth's diameter is about 7,900 miles. It's actually a network of highways that connects all capitals of the mainland states. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the Great Wall of China, but what about the Great Fence of Australia?
9,000-mile highway? What?
Okay, that's not what it's called, but still. The Dingo Fence in southeast Australia stretches for nearly 3,500 miles. For comparison, it would easily cover the entire span of the U.S., from Los Angeles to Houghton, Maine. Now, it might not be so surprising to know that Australia is huge. It's about the same size as the continental U.S., about 2,500 miles wide. The distance from the west to east coast is further than Barcelona to Moscow. In all, Australia is the world's 6th largest country and the only one that's also a whole continent. But with all that territory, over 80% of Australians live within 60 miles of the coast. This makes the country one of the most coastal-dwelling populations in the world.
Isn't that crazy? 80% of the country lives within 60 miles of the edge, and all that land in the middle. It's crazy.
And that means a whole lot of beaches. In fact, they have so many that if you decided to visit a new beach every day, it would take you almost 30 years to see them all.
Holy smokes.
The biggest property in Australia is about 40,000 square miles in area. South Korea could fit into it with room to spare. The country's termites are busy building huge properties as well. Their mounds are the tallest animal-made structures on this planet.
I've seen these. My friend Brad over at Drone Kings in Darwin went to a park that had these, and I was blown away with how huge these were. Unreal.
Before humans arrived, the continent was home to megafauna. If you lived there about 46,000 years ago, you'd be dead today. But you would have seen 10-foot-tall kangaroos, 23-foot-long goanna lizards, and ducks the size of an adult horse.
Screw that.
Quack. The largest living structure on the planet is the Australian Great Barrier Reef. By the way, it has its own mailbox, and there's a rumor that the fish there use eel mail. Yeah. Neither kangaroos nor emus can walk backward. That's a fact. And that's why they're painted on the Australian coat of arms. Keep moving forward. The platypus.
That's kind of cool. That they can't go backwards, yeah, that's pretty cool.
An egg-laying mammal that lives only in Australia, is one of the rare venomous mammals on this planet. Luckily, while the venom has an excruciatingly painful effect on people, it's not lethal. The takeaway? Don't fuss with a platypus. By the way, when the first platypus was brought to England, people there were sure that it was a joke. The English believed that Australians had sewn a duck's bill onto a rat's body to play a trick on them.
It looks like that. It's got like claws and a rat and like a duck beak. That's a fucked up animal.
Yeah, right up until he bit them. Not laughing now, are you? Swimming in the surf during the day had been illegal in Australia up until 1902. But after one guy calmly entered the waves of Manly Beach one afternoon that year, surf bathing became increasingly popular. The largest Greek population outside of Greece itself is in Australia. Actually, to be more precise, in Melbourne. More than 160,000 people who live there say they come from Greek descent. Melbourne was the richest city in the world in 1880. These days, Tokyo, Japan holds this title. And until 2018, Melbourne had been rated as the most livable city in the world for 7 years in a row.
Wow.
But then it was bumped down to second place after Vienna, Austria. Come on, Melbourne, get back in the game.
Yeah, right?
One of Melbourne's founders was John Batman. Yep, that was his real name. And get this, the city was temporarily called Batmania. Too bad they decided to change it to Robinville? Nah. In 2018, Australia ranked third after Norway and Switzerland on the Human Development Index. This index is based on education, life expectancy, and citizens' income. Basically, they got a good thing going down under there. In 2005, security guards at the Parliament House in Canberra were prohibited from calling people mate. But the ban only lasted for a day, mate. G'day. If you're ever in Western Australia, you can visit one of their many super salty pink lakes. They get the bubblegum hue from a certain type of algae and bacteria, and they're totally safe to swim in. Just be careful what you chew. Oh, and be sure to take a selfie while you're swimming in what looks like a giant pool of Pepto-Bismol. You can thank Australia for coming up with the word selfie in the first place. There are about 74 million sheep to 25 million people in Australia, which makes an impressive ratio of 3 to 1. Only China and India have more than that. Oh, and the kangaroo thing is totally true. There are twice as many kangaroos as there are people there. That's 50 to 25 million.
I really thought that was like just an urban legend. 50 million kangaroos. Wow.
Speaking of which, when a baby kangaroo is born, it's only half an inch long. It's also hairless and totally pink. Kinda looks like a gummy bear. What else is there in Australia? Oh, that's right, koalas. And to top that, there are 10 times more camels than koalas. Australia is the source of a lot of the Middle East's camels. Now, in Western Australia, it's against the law to be in possession of more than 110 pounds of potatoes. Well, every country has its obscure, bizarre laws.
Wow.
The architect of the world-famous Sydney Opera House got the idea of this unique construction while munching on an orange. If you combine all the sails of the building's roof, you'll get a perfect sphere. The most ancient fossils in the world were found in Australia. They were no less than 3.4 billion years old, even older than my leftovers in the fridge. There are so many different species in this country that only 25% of them have been discovered so far.
That's insane.
Of the animal.
Holy shit. That's because the outback. Nobody goes and really goes deep in the outback, right? Isn't that what it? Yeah. Wow. 75% of the animals in Australia have not been discovered. That's an amazing fact.
Discovered to be native to Australia, none have hooves. Burger King miraculously turns into Hungry Jack's as soon as you land in Australia. It's the Aussie franchise of the famous fast food chain. Australia is a unique continent that doesn't house any active volcanoes. It's also the flattest continent on our planet. But it's got plenty of mountains, and one of them is called Mount Disappointment. It's just 2,600 feet tall, and naturally, explorers William Hovell and Hamilton Hume expected to see a great view from the top. However, after climbing the mountain, they discovered that there were too many trees growing on top and blocking the view completely.
So disappointing.
Guess how the men felt? Australia has tons of unique flora and fauna species that you won't find anywhere else in the world. Among those are a staggering 1,500 spider species.
Keep those.
Spider species, yeah. On the bright side, and we are, While some of them are fatally poisonous, most are completely harmless. But how do I tell them apart? Oh, the poisonous ones wear signs. Got it. It's also where you'll find 21 of the world's top 25 most venomous snakes. More
Yeah, 21 out of 25? Why?
than 90% of Australia is covered with some kind of vegetation. Since 1988, Australia has had a national floral emblem, and it's the golden wattle. When this plant blooms, it gets covered with the country's national colors, green and gold.
And then it waddles.
Australia is a
Green and gold, those are my high school colors. My sons are all in the same high school that I went to. Green and gold. That's awesome.
multinational country, with more than 200 different languages and dialects spoken there. The most popular non-English languages are Mandarin, Greek, Arabic, Vietnamese, and Cantonese.
Wow.
There are 19 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Australia, including 12 natural sites, 3 cultural sites, and 4 mixed sites. The difference between Australia's total length and its width is only 200 miles.
Wow, it doesn't look
Hey,
it.
do you have an 8-hour working day? You can thank Australian stonemasons for that. In 1865, they demanded to make 8-hour shifts the standard, and it spread throughout the world from there. With 8 people per square mile, Australia has an extremely low population density. For comparison,
8.
there are about 93 people per square mile in the US. The national Australian airline, Qantas, uses recycled cooking oil to power its interstate flights. So, have I missed any
Wow.
cool facts about Australia? Let me know down in the comments. If you learned something new today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. But hey, don't go waltzing Matilda just yet. We have
All right, so that was 50 things that are only possible in Australia. That's on the bright side. I'll make sure I link their channel in the description below. Make sure you go check these guys out. They have tons and tons of amazing factual videos to give you all kinds of facts about countries and areas. And I mean, look at the next videos, you know, how these 10 ancient ruins and archaeological sites looked like. Why Crown Cork bottle has 21 spikes. I mean, they do all kinds of stuff. They tell you all kinds of information. So make sure you check these guys out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for coming over here on Hey Look Squirrel Down Under. Thanks for hanging out with me. And you guys, let me know down below, what are some other only in Australia things? What do you think, or what do you know are? Let me know. I appreciate you hanging out this long. I hope you subscribed, and we'll catch you soon. Until next time, Squirrel out.